From the birth of the Atari in the 80s to what we know today as the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox One, people have been enjoying their free time with some good old-fashioned video games, and many people have made a lot of money playing these games over the past 2 decades. This has caused people to rally and bond over certain aspects of gaming, whether that be the art style of the game or certain game mechanics, and with the introduction of modern social media, things have definitely changed. But is it necessarily for the better? Today I'm going to focus on the good and bad of the gaming community and what changes could be made for the betterment of it. So stay tuned because we're about to talk some serious business on another episode of Pixel Time. YouTube and Twitch. These two content platforms are the biggest moneymakers, the children of two massive parent corporations, the most watched and the most reported on in the news right now. That may change eventually, maybe, but for the time being, Twitch fiends are playing non-stop for the no-nos, and YouTubers are living the life, playing the algorithm for the views. And in most cases, YouTubers and Twitch streamers overlap, so both platforms are affected by the things that I'll get to in a second. So when someone is passionate about a certain concept, they will have a very strong opinion on it. Like if someone doesn't think something's interesting, they'll just say they don't care and then that's the end of it. In this scenario, the community has taken the time to express their opinions. That's not necessarily bad, but some people take it too far, especially when taking the competitive aspect of gaming into account. Of course, this happens in any kind of competitive game, for example, League of Legends or Rocket League, but what people are really into is the phenomenon known as Battle Royale. The main games in this category that are relevant as of the recording of this video are Apex Legends, published by EA Games and developed by Respawn Entertainment and Panic Button Games, Call of Duty Warzone, published by Activision Blizzard and developed by Infinity Ward and Raven Software, and Fortnite, published by Epic Games and developed by People Can Fly. I guess I can also include defuse the bomb type games like Counter-Strike and Valorant, but the comparisons are a little looser, so take that with a grain of salt. For one, content creators in the community have decided on which methods of using game mechanics are an acceptable way of playing. Let me explain. So in Warzone, at least seeing Warzone players play, because I haven't had a lot of chances to play, they have a really big problem with using explosives like C4, for example, to destroy vehicles, or meleeing people until they're downed. In Fortnite, playing against spam weapons is unanimously annoying to the point where the pros talk about it on Twitter all the time. Like all the time. And that's fair, I guess. I mean, it would be fair if these content creators didn't turn around and then do the exact fucking thing 3 games later. Then there comes the sweat dilemma. I'm pretty sure Fortnite was not the game the term sweat originated in, but it kind of seems like it because of the way people just throw it around nowadays. The term has become more popular than it's ever been, and if you don't know, sweats are basically tryhards, but they're trying so hard that they're physically sweating. I'm sure you've sweat at least a couple of times playing certain games like Dark Souls or Mario Maker, for example, but I've never actually understood the sentiment of someone being a sweat just because they want to take a game that's supposed to be competitive seriously. I mean, I sweat when I play sometimes, but I don't think that means I'm a sweat for exerting mental energy that one time out of hundreds. These days, you hear everyone call everyone else a sweat. Normal players say it, content creators say it, your friends probably say it, and I just don't get it. You know, when you know what works in a video game, when you know how to get good results, and you've practiced enough to get those results, you're not trying hard anymore. You're just playing the game at that point. Apparently, it's so easy, quote unquote, to get wins these days that people stopped going for the win and started going for kills instead. Because if you kill everyone else, you win, right? You've seen all the personal kill record videos, 10 kills, 20 kills, 25 kills, 50 kills. It must really be easy to win in those games. if 4 people can just destroy the entire lobby. So are people just sweats because they can beat you more than you can beat them? The next qualm I have is with competitiveness. I can't remember if that's a word or not, so I'm just going to go ahead with it anyway. So the aura of competitiveness has changed drastically since, I would say, 2016. There are players who seem to be so tired of losing that they just find the shittiest hack they can get their hands on so they can finally win a game. Of course, people also do it to troll content creators and stuff like that, but that's a different issue entirely. Eventually, people who weren't hacking got fed up with being hacked on and then started downloading their own hacks. That's a problem. Stream snipers are a massive issue for content creators on top of all of that. Stream sniping, if you didn't know, is an opportunistic tactic in online gaming when a viewer exploits information by watching the live stream of someone they're playing against. This action isn't always immediately deliberate, but most of the time it is. So I'm sure you've heard about the stream sniping trending in 2018 when Ninja was really big on Fortnite and he started becoming very suspicious about the amount of players being wherever he was on the map. Honestly, I would be too if it happened to me as much as it does in a lot of games nowadays. Whether it's legally and morally ethical from a community or gameplay standpoint is a completely different story, but the fact that this happens often takes some of the practicality of gaming away from the average player. What's really clear is that having to deal with hackers, stream snipers, and hackers who are also stream snipers all at the same time, who eventually end up winning 95% of their fights against you due to an advantage that they shouldn't even have, isn't exactly the greatest position to be in, and content creators have expressed this vehemently. People in the community think that they should be used to these things by now and react accordingly, which can be, I think, really damaging to their competitive ego. I mean, it doesn't help that content creation as a whole is introducing more and more younger creators, so there's a much better chance of this creeping in and maintaining this position on YouTube and Twitch. But don't think these older content creators are 100% innocent. No way. There are plenty of issues that I have with content creators and their mentalities. For one, there's this habit where they call other players kids, like they actually know how old they are. Makes it seem like everyone else is below them automatically. They really know how to pick a fight as well. They seem really adamant about proving themselves in tournaments and trash talking their opponents. A couple of years back, Optic got flamed for expressing their uncomfortability with the Call of Duty League for leaking trash talk segments that they involved themselves in. Sure, trash talk is an expected part of the competitive gaming scene at this point, but it's kind of akin to roughhousing, and even roughhousing is something that would get old eventually or be done in short bursts at least. So what's up? Why is it so prevalent in gaming culture, and what started this trend? You would think that comp pros and content creators would at least grow out of this phase of horseplay. So I have a theory. Many people have a similar theory to what I'm about to mention because I don't think it's too far-fetched, but it all boils down to one thing: children. I don't want to just excuse everything that children and teens do because they're known for being extremely obnoxious and stubborn, but I don't want to act like a mega boomer and rag on middle schoolers because not too long ago myself, I was a teen. So please take this all with a grain of salt. Again, kids, like I said before, are known for being obnoxious in a very oblivious kind of way, where they try really hard to make a joke or keep a joke going, and for a lot of people, they never grow out of this phase. On top of that, these creators have a job of being in front of a camera in real time, making content for audiences that are most likely filled with elementary and middle schoolers, high schoolers, bachelors, and overall people who have a crazy fucking habit of saying things before they think, things that they might regret later on. But the worst part, in my opinion, is that most of the time, this doesn't seem to stop at 23, 24. There are people in their 40s on the internet right now as we speak, with a massive amount of followers who exhibit this type of behavior very often. I think because a lot of younger people watch these guys, the way they interact with them really influences their behavior to the point where it seems like some of these creators are trying to build a reality where they weren't losers in high school by giving in to these certain behaviors. That, or maybe they think acting like these kids will make them appear more trustworthy. and they might end up getting more out of it financially. Or maybe this is the way they've always been, who knows? So what do I think should be done about what's going on right now? Well, quite frankly, a lot of people should pay more attention to the things that these content creators do. Be sure to call them out when you see something that doesn't seem right, especially morally or legally, I guess. But also make sure to hold the entities who house their content responsible as well. I've made a video on YouTube and Twitch, and the way people uphold themselves on social media, there should be a way for the entities themselves to crack down on this shit. And I know that there are ways, they just don't use them. And that's where you come in. That's where you pressure them into doing certain things to make sure that these content creators don't keep doing what they're doing right now. So anyway, that's all I have. If you have any ideas or things you want to say, make sure to leave a comment down below. And if you like the video, make sure to subscribe so I know that you like the content and that I can keep going with more ideas that I have lined up in the bank. All right. Again, thanks for watching, and keep an eye out.